what's going on there. Let's see. Maybe if that's a little bit better. Back during the days of COVID, I did a Wednesday evening devotional for our members at Good Springs. And then I would try to do something on Sunday morning. That's where our Sunday morning live stream got its name, Sunday Morning with Good Springs, is because we were on lockdown and we were trying to be good citizens and all of that. But I've thought for a while that I need to do a Wednesday evening devotion for those folks who can't come to Wednesday evening but would like to. And in the summertime, it's not so bad. We changed our prayer meeting time from 7 to 6 a while back so that it would make it easier for those people, particularly in the wintertime, when they come, that they're still able to get home most of the time before dark. But we still have a lot of folks who don't come, and so this is me taking away another excuse. This has been a challenging, not trying week for me, but a challenging week for me. Beverly and I have good friends from years ago when we lived down in Savannah. We got word Monday morning that they're not yet 4-year-old. He wouldn't be 4 until the first week of July. Their not yet 4-year-old grandson was involved in an accident and died, passed away over the weekend. And I've had a couple of conversations with this little boy's grandfather. Sam and I were good friends. He reached out to me with this, and my heart just breaks for him. And then I think, in his own words in our conversation, he said, I know this happens all the time. This happens all over the country, happens all over the world. You hear about it in the news, you read about it. And he said, and I hear that, and I'm going, oh, yeah, that's such a tragic thing. But this is different. I said, yeah, it's because this happened to you. This isn't the detached information that you get from some other family. This is your family. This was your grandson. And I really don't have words for that. But I thought about, in the last couple of days and praying for that family and thinking about it, there was a verse that came to mind that I read not long ago. Now, I've told you, if y'all know anything about me at all, you know that I have a great ongoing love affair with the book of Psalms, because it's just so real and so down to earth and so honest. But there's a verse in Psalm 56 that begins with a mention of God's grace. Be gracious to me, O God. A number of Psalms began with that phrase or something very, very similar to it. But as the psalmist David goes through this, he says this in verse 8. He said, you have kept count of my tossings. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? And I thought, what does this mean to us? And this is what I come up with. Our tears are precious to God. Now, that may sound far-fetched to some. Some of those who want to keep God at a distance and make God remote, but no. Jesus did away with all of that when he came into the world as Emmanuel, God with us. And then on the night before he dies, he tells his disciples, tells us, abide in me. He's not cold, and he's not remote, and he's not distant. He is right here, and he considers our I've got a dog over here who's wanting to get my attention, and I'm going to shoot her. And bad thing is she's deaf, and I have to use sign language. I don't know if she understands, but but God considers our tears precious, precious, valuable, and he keeps them. He puts them in his bottle. I didn't even know that was a verse. I got a phone call one night. I was in Virginia, pastoring up there, and one of my members who just lived down the street from me called me, and she said, "Where is that verse that says that God puts our tears in a bottle?" I'm going, "Oh boy, this sounds like a Helen Steiner Rice poem or something." No. And I thought, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you. And I did. I did, with egg on my face, because there it was, just as big as Pete, that he puts our tears in his bottle. And then beyond that, he writes them in his book. God keeps track of our suffering, of our heartaches, of our broken hearts, of our disillusionment, discouragements, and defeats. He keeps track of all of that. We all know the verse, what God numbers the hairs on our heads. Yes, but it's far more than that. God saves our tears, and he values them, because that's an indication, an expression of just how much he values us, of how precious we are to him. So I share that with you. If you're in that place in your life where you have a lot of tears, and I know we have those at Good Springs, we have those. If you are one of those who have received horrible, horrible news, like my friend from Savannah, he's not there now, but was, then know that God knows. God cares. And then just one other thing. You remember in Matthew 25 where Jesus, and this is a picture of judgment, separation of sheep and goats, and Jesus tells those sheep that, when you helped, when you fed the hungry, when you visited the sick, when you did these things, whatever you did to them, you did to me. And then the just vice versa for the goats, you saw me and you didn't do this and you didn't do this. The indication is there. Jesus said, whatever you did to them, you did to me. He's so closely identified with us that he feels what we feel. He feels our hurts. He feels our sorrows. Isaiah says that surely he carries our griefs. Surely he carries our sorrows. So I say all this to say this. When your heart's broken, when you're defeated, discouraged, when you feel hopeless, rejected, you have a God in heaven. You have a Savior named Jesus who understands. He will receive you as you are. And you don't have to explain, don't have to come to him saying, now, Lord, I feel like I need to. And if you want to say those things, he will listen to every word you say. But he already knows, because he feels what you feel. And he knows every tear, because he keeps them. He wants you to know that this is how precious you are to him. And even though right now the hurt, the tears, the heartache, the aggravation, the anger, the grief makes no sense at all, the day will come when it does. Because God will never forget. And he will bind up the brokenhearted. And he will wipe away every tear. Hang on to that. Draw near to the God who loves you like that. That's why Jesus died for you, is because you are that precious to him. If you have questions, feel free to call me. Send me a message. You can do that easily enough. You know, I guess if all else fails, you could actually show up at church. We'd be glad to have you. We've got room. We're saving you a seat. And we would look forward to seeing you. I hope this has helped. Hope you found some encouragement in this. Hope you found a reason to reach out and to call on your Creator, your Sustainer, your Redeemer, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who died and rose again for you. God bless you. Hope you have a great day. Look forward to seeing you soon. I was looking for a way to stop this. I found it down here in the corner. I'll try to be a little more polished next time. Maybe we can start doing this every Wednesday. We'll have to wait and see.